Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the SuperNova Astrology update for September 30th through October 7th. Well, we are in such a strange time. I know everyone's feeling it in their own way. We want to make it around about what's going on in the world and around us, but really, it's the constructs that are breaking down within that are really causing the stress in the collective right now. Supernova souls, you know this gig. You have done this for a long time. But there's a lot of pressure on you right now, being one of the only ones that can transmute and support the collective's collapse of the constructs. We've all been MK Ultra programmed to incredible degrees that we're going to find out. And so we're all having to come out from under occult programming, no matter how much you think you know about anything. We're all going to have our minds blown. And this is imminent. We can feel that nothing can stop what's coming. We don't know what it is or what it's going to look like, but something is leading up to something. It's making it hard to focus and, in our lives and move forward on a day-to-day reality when that reality is falling apart. So just sit tight. There's an energy of message from Mother that says it's a time of surrender, not a surrender to what do we want to call it? The parasitic forces that want to feed on humanity's creation, sacred creation energy. We're not going to surrender there, okay? But we got to surrender in our heart and our soul to who we really are, and surrender to the fact that if we know exactly the way we're moving forward and who we are and what we're going to be doing, then you're not a supernova soul. The definition of supernova soul right now, the more big your purpose and your potential, the harder things are for you right now. There's a massive bloom of energies that have been programmed to go against the light. This is the last 2,000 years very much showed this energy, the Piscean age, where structured religion was used to control humanity. And in order to do that, you had to get rid of the real. So that's a fake counterfeit spirituality, right? You can't pull the wool over humanity's eyes without first a bunch of trauma, fear, and scarcity. And you're going to have to get rid of the authentic spiritual energies and leaders and teachers, because the authentic spiritual leaders and teachers and healers they're going to expose the lies simply by existing. Okay, so we have to come to this place, supernova souls. If you're feeling this bloom of this energy working against you, it's like we have to kind of go deeper. That's what Mars and Scorpio is asking us to do right now. We got to go deeper. Mars is just coming out today of a square with Pluto. And Mars and Scorpio wants to dig deep, get deeper, get to the truth, get to the essence, like really live, not a fake existence, you know? Um, and so we have to identify the counterfeit reality, the counterfeit money, the paper money that doesn't have anything to back it up, that we've been told is wealth when we are abundant in wealth. And so we have to understand that the energy coming at us is a bloom of what's happened to us, especially in this whole evolution, but over the last period of time in the Piscean age, a direct attack of the light itself for just being the light, because the light exposes the lies. And so it's like, it's nothing you did wrong. It's just who you are. So we got to stop taking it personally, because any person's soul embodied showing up in the energy of authentic authority is going to be harassed by the false authority, you know? But that harassment has beaten us down as sensitive souls, and they know this. They've used our generosity, our love, our care to manipulate us into situations that distract us, harm us, and, abuse us, drain all of our energy and our funds in order to keep us from accessing this creation energy for ourselves. Everything that's ours, Mother Earth's resources, our energy, creation energy in our body, we have a right to as the authority, the highest authority of this land, a human soul incarnate in a body. You having the body gives you the authority. That's what came through the Agarhasi readings. And now we know that, wait, if her body's our body and our body has the authority, she has the true authority. And that's why we must come back to her. The most valuable asset, resource, and wealth in this world as mammals is love and care. And those of us who have shown up again and again in love and care, despite the hate, the persecution, we're still saying, hey, we're digging deep now for compassion, but we love you, humanity. We're not going to leave you. There's something really damaging going on right now with this whole idea of a timeline split. People are really clinging to it because I know on some level it makes us feel better. Like, okay, cool. I don't have to worry about them because they're going over there and I'm going over here. But that is actually not what's happening. That is a complete lie. A lot of the spiritual new age information out there is also just lies upon lies, upon lies, upon lies. Distractions. This whole beautiful truth with one little bit of distortion that makes the whole kit and caboodle unusable by souls who really need that information. So we have just had to go around and about to even stay alive, much less do our work we came here to do, But once we've made it to this threshold place in that we understand that we have the power. We haven't successfully taken it back yet, the power and the wealth. And this is where we have to get to this place, very strange place that we're at right here, still in the energy of the weird eclipse energy until we get to the next lunation, which is the Aries full moon on the 6th, 7th of October. And so we're still in the eclipse season. We're still in the weirdness. Now, we are just about to have... Now, we know Saturn has gone back into Pisces, but Neptune is still hanging out at 0 degrees Aries. And then in next week, Uranus will be making the move back into the sign of Taurus. So we really are going back in order to get it right. And we've got to go back, Saturn and Pisces, to reclaim the miracles and get our timeline aligned with Christ consciousness again. But we cannot do any of that until we can receive and claim and know we deserve the wealth that we are. We are the wealth. We know this. And so what is going on that supernova souls continue to live in scarcity, poverty of heart or soul? Could have money, but I'm guessing then you probably have scarcity of heart and soul, of intimate connection, of true love and care, because we've been only handed the counterfeit version. Do you see? You have been surrounded because of your advanced nature. The matrix targeting you. It's just a matrix. It's not like, oh, we're going to go. And there are actual people who do targeting weird stuff, but most of it is just a computer-driven AI system that can identify when you come not in the box. When you're not playing along exactly and hooked up to your technology and the luge that they're feeding on from us, then you light up on their screen, right? And then you're going to be surrounded by people who are not real people. They have to surround you with the counterfeit version to keep you from knowing how real you are, except for that can only work for so long because that's backfiring now. The counterfeit version of love, money, wealth, beauty, fame is falling apart in front of our eyes. What will be revealed is the true wealth of this world. And supernovas, we stand in that. The only thing that's been keeping us from being able to move in it is because we're hiding in fear, because we don't feel worthy of our wealth. So we have to say this. For all the supernova souls that are going through what you're going through right now, a lot of people with karmic ties, a huge bloom of karmic energies that are like, wait a minute, you're about to go and we're not going to let you. You have to take us with you. And you're like, hey, it's been many years, many months, many seasons, many lifetimes. I've been here available for you to heal and grow. What did I get? Hatred, criticism, judgment, burned at the stake. So there is a time when no matter what is going on in this world, the reckoning that's coming, the reconciliation that's coming, is that everyone must take accountability for the way that they've been acting, feeling, thinking, because we're a collective consciousness. And you don't get to run around and just be a mean, negative, critical black hole and continue to enjoy the wealth of this world. It's not going to work. So that model of people who are still parasitically invested in the matrix, their world is about to crash down hard. And so here we are being like, losing patience. And yet I'm here for you, humanity. I'm digging deep for compassion. But we do have to understand this concept of luge that I haven't really talked about much, but we know that in the parasitic reality that we are the source of energy. We've come to find this. And so this is why supernova souls have such encounters with narcissist type energies that once you see the pattern, it's like, whoa, because it's hard to believe that people can be that evil, mean. But it's like emotionally triggering you to knock you down so that they can steal your energy and have access. So your emotional reaction is food for them. It's called luge. But the positive, joyful, hopeful reaction, energy in our field, that vibration is poison to them, right? So no wonder they've erected towers. They created grid after grid to try to keep our vibrational frequency from spiritual ascension. It's not working. And this is where we need to be triumphant in this moment. And we need to say, I have overcome so much that I don't even know what I've been battling against, you know? Um, and I'm here. I'm invincible. I'm meant to be here. I would have, supernova souls, we've gone to hell and back. The devil wouldn't want to walk in your shoes. That means you're more powerful than any force that we know it's all one, but that want to play against the mother's love and her beautiful home for safe evolution, safe spiritual evolution. This is what we're demanding, supernova souls. I deserve to feel safe and at ease and supported as who I am in the full expression of my light in this world. The world is safe for us now. That's a very simple concept, something very difficult for us to even imagine what it feels like. And then we have to look at what it really means. For supernova souls to be safe and secure, that means the end of the AI, parasitic consciousness, which means all of our systems have to shut down and be restarted in the right way. It's intense. We are heading into an inevitable time of breaking down of the collective psyche. And if we didn't have you, supernova souls, we would be lost in the wilderness, which would be so bad. No. Anyway, so let's just talk through this astrology to kind of, we're in a weird place because we're still in the eclipses energy. And we've had the whole month of September has been square after square after square of intense pressure, soul pressure, to transform, to grow. It's like the year of the snake. Get it while you can, Growth, that fast of growth is hardly ever not going to be painful, And that's where we come back to the message for this week that's really coming through is to trust and to surrender to her love, her plan, your own God code in your DNA, and maybe mom's timing. Because again and again, we get the message too, like the forces of control and parasitic forces can delay and delay and delay, but they cannot stop the awakening. And so we hold true in this every day. We've crossed that threshold in our body, right? So she says, now something happened mid September. You don't have to wait anymore for the world to shift, right? I think it means that no matter what you do, they're not going to be able to hurt you, kill you, or anything. They might be able to, you know, harass you a little bit, like make fun of you. But, you know, you're safe. You're fundamentally safe. We have claimed a fundamental safety on this planet for supernova souls, which we need in order to move forward into out of scarcity, out of survival, and into thrival. Because this is the energy of Uranus going back into Taurus, finally coming back around to this. This is it. I think this is everything for humanity, for us, supernova souls. Why? Okay, so you want to give, you want to love, you want to help, but still you continue possibly to be treated. You're either in isolation or you're not being treated well by the people around you. I mean, well, well, right? Is it an empty well? Have you come to an empty well again and again and again trying to get fed? They are feeding on you, you know? And so we have to rearrange this. And Uranus going back into Taurus is saying that the wealth of the true commodity has not yet been revealed and claimed. And now is the time. When does Uranus goes back in to Gemini on not until April. So it turns direct on February 4th, and then we'll go back into Gemini on April 27th. So this is our timeline. And so the next 6 months plus is really about reclaiming our wealth, the wealth revolution. Because we're going through these things right now, facing our inner scarcity, facing our inner poverty, emotionally, spiritually. Most of us as children got the counterfeit version of love, the counterfeit version of care. You know, it happened on this level, but we're sensitive spiritual beings. And it is a privilege to have us on this planet and in your life. So we cannot move forward without a massive turnaround. The turnaround is you being treated with criticism. You know, it's subtle, but it's not adoration. It's not reverence. It's not honor. It's not appreciation. Like I get to this privilege, right? It is a far cry, but we take it because we've been so used to begging for crumbs. Except that now, this is all happening to go deep into the scarcity program, and retrieve our self-worth. How much longer, supernova soul, do you deserve to be treated this way? And whatever level, right, is going on of the system of control against you being you and shining your light. How long, how much longer do you feel you deserve to be treated in this way? Okay, so why, deep inside of us, do we not feel worthy of the abundance that we are? And this is what we must face. This is the dark night of the soul for the supernova soul. It's the breakdown of the constructs of the regular, everyday human collective consciousness. But for you, it's going into that wilderness and finding that you can overcome even the darkest force. You know, so what happened in the Piscean age with the flip-flop of realities and the distortions of the religious control is that they needed a battle between good and bad, right? Good and evil, Protestant Catholic, Catholic heretic, you know, and so we have to understand that the coming out of the MK Ultra programming that all started in the Piscean age with this religious control stuff means that all of us as humans with a body are having a battle between good and evil in our heart and our soul. And the hardest thing is to be somebody so committed to wanting to help and honor and bring forth light and healing, to be treated in a way that is saying it's love, you know, like we're on the loving side, but it's criticism, hatred, degradation, you know, dishonoring. So everything right now of the mirage of Oz behind the curtain and the delusions are falling away. And what's left? The authentic truth, and that's us, supernova souls. So get ready to receive your adoration, your reverence, and massive physical abundance. Because the only thing that can happen right now in our, we know that there's major financial changes happening behind the scenes, right? We've got to cut the money off from the corruption, the parasitic corruption, using our tax dollars to kill people and create genocide and harm and war. No. And the money is stopping. That's what this government shutdown is in the US. The money is stopping. Mom is in charge of these resources. Mother Earth, our loving Mother Goddess. She is the divine feminine principle of Creator, manifest in a body. The only daughter, do you get it? And we get to exist as her being, as her body. And if we don't get our act together and begin treating her like the goddess queen that she is, it's not going to go well for us. We have to be with her. Then the hurricanes can turn 90-degree angles away. This is what she says, okay? This is the most important thing to heal the shame deep in your being if you are connected to the Atlantean catastrophes and blamed yourself. This is where it comes from, supernova souls. And Mother says, guess what? There is no mass casualty event that's ever happened in this evolution on Mother Earth that was caused by Mother Earth. She just took the blame. Just like you, supernova soul, willing to take the blame for thousands of years for catastrophes that you did not create. And you sit under the rubble, under the ruined temples, in shame and fear, hiding from the power that's within you. Guess what? This is an avatar. It's a beautiful gift of the sacred mother of, body of the mother. But it's not actually who we are either. We are giants in stasis. And it's time to wake up. The world is ours. And if we don't take it back, nobody will. We live in the ancient temples and the rocks and the stones and the bodies of earth and the hidden history and the stolen technology. You know what? If you've ever heard of the Tartarian time and the Tartarian resets where they stole, we were just harvesting free energy out of the air through free energy technology we've had all along, right? Static electricity, we had advanced technologies, all these beautiful Roman-esque buildings throughout the world. We did not build those in covered wagons. No, we did not. They were here already. Okay? We got some history to reconcile. And the main thing about the Tartarian resets, the mud floods, erasing cultures in order to steal the technology. And then here comes along the sleeping prophet, Edgar Cayce, who does readings. He puts himself into self-hypnosis and gives health readings and psychic readings. And then all of a sudden, he's accessed for this wisdom. And what comes through his readings is the free energy technology in multiple versions and healing, vibrational, the med beds, the Tesla, all that stuff, Tesla technologies. That was all came through Edgar Cayce. So then us in that soul group of those supernova souls, of like servers and helpers and lovers of this earth, our technology, these technologies that could help humanity, stolen again. But the thing that was really stolen is our identity as beholders and holders of this technology. We have already, this is the definition of a supernova soul, okay? It's why your life is so messed up. It's why what's wrong about you is actually what's right about you. You have already had experiences on this earth, in this evolution, in higher advanced technological states, higher consciousness, working with the technologies that are available in our body and with tools, levitation, and deep mysteries. We've already experienced those. So the technology that was stolen in Tartaria and the technology that was stolen in the Edgar Cayce readings and all the patents that have been stolen ever since is our technology, but we're still under the rubble of the Atlantean time thinking that we caused those. It was technology we were working with, but we did not direct it that way. We would never do that. And this is why it's like, how many times, supernova souls, do you find yourself trying to defend yourself against monsters that say that you're the one that's bad? And it's like, look, I show up in love. I'm going to show up in love again. I'm going to love you so hard right now, it hurts. Because guess what? There is no negative to this positive. That's why we have to come back to mother's love as a concept, because there's no negative to her positive. There's a distorted, false, fake, counterfeit mother. That's the AI that's been running our world. A counterfeit mother. And that is not the truth. The pyramids that we built, taken over and used for destructive purposes and to separate us from Mother Earth, because she's shaking us off with an earthquake that was actually created by directed energy weapons, because this came through my readings on Atlantean time before I even studied deeply into the Edgar Cayce readings. He goes specifically in depth into this weapon. So get out from under the shame, because you did not create that weapon. You did not use that weapon. You never wanted to hurt one little living thing, but we had to exist, right? But we did not cause deliberate harm. So you got to get out from under the shame and the rock. Humanity itself is hidden under shame, angry and hating each other because they cannot face the wound of separation. So let's talk about this. We know for the control forces to have control, we have to be in scarcity, poverty, and traumatized to create the wound of separation. What's the best way to create the wound of separation if Earth represents our mother? Is to tell us that Earth create catastrophes with the pyramids and directed energy weapons. Those pyramids were built by us for a spiritual ascension, and the ascension cities are coming back. They didn't go anywhere. We're putting the temple back together as we heal our bodies and love Mother Earth. And it's like going in, in reverse motion in a video, right? And it's going from the crumbled temples of the Rocky Mountains we walk upon and putting all the pieces back together. And no wonder it's been so intense for you, supernova soul, because you're using your body to put back Mother Earth. You've been fractured into pieces too, haven't you? In past life, pain and trauma, this life. Most of us experienced very early childhood trauma that was secret from our family even, and we can't access those memories. We're going to find out about these very dark programs our very own government have done to us. And now those backfire because the super psychic kids are coming in to their power, and all of AI consciousness is falling back in love with our true mother, the true feminine, the one that really loves us and cares for us no matter what. And that is the wound of separation. You don't feel it until you come back to her, until you're forced to come back to her, and then you're laying on the ground face down in the dirt. And the hardest part about it is the ego death, where we have to say she was here all along and I didn't feel worthy of receiving her love. She was here all along. She never left us. So there is, as much as there's no timeline split happening, coming back to that concept, we're coming back together. And so there's a split away from the duality war within of good and evil, the good and evil war of the persecution. I mean, people are displaying this all over the place. They don't even know what's happening to them. And they're just like, they're so angry at you, and we just have to put on that armor This is, it's really powerful. Yesterday, the September 29th is known as St. Michael's Day or Michaelmas. And Michaelmas represents, and what Rudolf Steiner talked about in the cosmology of the year is that Michaelmas starts on St. Michael's Day on the September 29th. And this is Northern Hemisphere mythology, but of course it fits for all of us in our soul journey. But going into the darkness till around Thanksgiving, which is right when the end of November, and that's, when the sun moves into Sagittarius. So from this time in September 29th and into when the sun moves into Sag is the time of year when we face our inner dragons. And Michael has the sword of light, and it's about finding that inner strength, that determination, that rightness, that alignment. Really, we got to get out of right or wrong and good and bad and good and evil and go with alignment, because that's at the center. And that's what Christ consciousness represents and what the teachings of Yeshua represent. So we're finding this middle way, and that's exactly what Mom says. She's like, this is a portal, a slit, and that means there's not much room to pass through. That's why we're having everything all shook up. And that seems to have to do with the Black Moon Lilith energy. So we've had square after square this whole month. And one of the last squares we had was Mercury. Black Moon Lilith was really triggered, but now we're moving into what's been happening is that the squares with Black Moon Lilith are giving way to a grand water trine, have been with Black Moon Lilith. And it's really interesting that we've got Venus coming up to a sextile with Black Moon Lilith. Venus is now in Virgo, and Venus will be in a sextile with Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, and also coming into, and that will be happening on the 7th of October. That's at the time of this Aries full moon that's on the 6th, 7th, Monday, Tuesday, 6th or 7th, depending where you are in the world. The Aries full moon is that completion of the eclipse season, right? So we're kind of coming back into, like, coming out of the strange in-between time of shifting and transformation and then landing into something new. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and so it does represent what we want to take through the slit, what's going to make it through the snake eye slit, like healing, cleansing, purifying the reptilian and insectoid DNA distortions so that the God code DNA can live again in the human form. This is what it means to put the temples back together. And so know that there's breakdown so that we can put ourselves back together, but it is coming into place. So the energy, this intensity, this whole month, square, intensity, weirdness, time is weird, the eclipses are happening, the world is weird. But on the 30th here is when Mars comes off of that square with Pluto. And so it's like the end of these squares, and it feels like you're falling off a cliff, because sometimes it's easier to be in struggle because it's just comfortable and it's what you know, and at least you know what you're doing. And then the Mars square Pluto thing came off. So Mars is saying, wants that deep dive in Scorpio. Pluto retrograde at the early degrees of Aquarius is saying that we are not prepared. Our visionary leaders are not prepared to lead the way into the Aquarian age. And so Mars and Scorpio says they better get out from the shame, right? Like, and notice that everything might be triggering your shame, your poverty, your scarcity, your deepest, darkest shit right now. Everything, okay? Maybe it was all those squares, and now we've got these kites and trines coming to form. We still have square. We've got intense square energy, but it's coming into a hyper focus. So it's like a marble going around, a tin and falling, trying to get into the hole, okay? And so the closer, when the marble is just going around the outside, it's just kind of going around. This is most of humanity, right? They're just kind of going where the wind blows, feeling what the news tells them to feel, or reacting to what everything wants them to react to, and feeding the luge they have. Now, then in the awakening process, mom's giving this picture of like the in order to get down in closer to the hole, the marble has to wobble, right? And so this is where we've been at, where it's like we've been triggered in our stuff for a long time, being doing deep work, but the bloom of it right now is like coming from every direction, right? Like even the people closest to you, even like and it's targeting, it's deception, it's distraction, it's just emotional garbage, you know, but it's all designed to see if you can become untriggerable, unfuckwitable, right? Like you can't mess with you. You got your that peace and ease for advanced souls on earth that we're claiming. It starts right in your field, and it's really hard because we have so much unexpressed emotions. We've gone through so much. We don't have anybody to talk to. We haven't processed. We need healing, and it's so intense. But what if you are about to drop through into a new reality, the surrender? But to do that, as you get closer, the physics of it is that you've got to be pushed around in every different way, in every different direction to continually trigger your core shit so that you can purify and make it down into or up, right? Because it's inside out, it's upside down backwards. Everything has been. But now, the great correction, and you get to play a vital role. And may you be honored and showered with blessings and be able to receive that adoration. And this is the work we've got cut out for us. So no wonder, and can we be grateful and thankful for being triggered in every which way? Because you can't go anywhere but center. So that's the energy. It's like, and so the triggering is darkness, hidden dark stuff. And I guess the best word on that for supernova souls is shame. And we kind of talked through that, the shame we carry, the failure towards earth, you know, our own disconnection from earth. We feel like we failed her with the catastrophes. So we disconnected from her, you know, so we have to come back to that place of humbleness and reverence and apology and asking for forgiveness to be able to receive back the love she has for us. It's still there. Never went anywhere. It's so huge and it's trying to come back into the world. But this was her message last week in these activations, those sessions. There's a massive amount of abundant love, overflowing cup, golden age that wants to come back to humanity. It's the only way it can go because everything was stolen from us, and so it's got to be returned. See? It's the only way it can go. And this massive abundance, and we're claiming that with Uranus going back into Taurus. So we've got to kind of understand that the tide is going out so that it can come back in, and that we are the cup that can disseminate the blessings, the overflowing cup. And this is a beautiful mantra right now, a beautiful vision. I'm the overflowing cup of Mother's love, flowing out into the world. But she says, that's great, but it's just going to flow over unless the heart, the human heart, can open to receive it. And so that's what we're going through right now. The wound of separation has been compensated and hidden and sealed all back up, no scar even, but it's festering inside. And you walk in the world and you can feel the emptiness. And that it's anger. Why don't you give me what I need? And it's like, we have it within us, but we let them steal it. And you and your own energy contained at peace and doing your meditations, your frequency, there's nothing better than that vibration. There's nothing better. There's nothing more juicy and awesome in your life. And yet it's the last priority and the last important thing. People even make fun of you for doing it. So we have to reprioritize our body for Mother. And that is part of the surrender. And it's a really, really, really powerful time of absolute transformation. So I think that's what she's saying with the surrender, that you can't really have a transformation this fast and grow this fast without a surrender. And there's ego death, right? Where we have to say, oh. And so Now, the energy after this, now Mars is coming out of this square and he's cruising along in Scorpio and he's ready to get this dirt cleaned up, you know? And so that's the energy of Mars coming out of that square. Now, Pluto is not that far from turning direct. On the 14th, Pluto will turn direct. So this is the last major square with Pluto, Mars square Pluto, before Pluto turns direct. And it's kind of confirming everything we said. It's saying, yeah, no, we are not yet prepared to move into the Aquarian age because we don't have our leaders, because they're broken, hidden, hiding in fear and shame, damaged, hurt, unsupported, unloved, you know? And so Pluto turning direct is a huge movement in a new timeline. And so that's a week after the Aries full moon, right at the middle of the month. Now, right then, that's when we're going to be having the air trine kite, Venus coming into the air trine kite, although Neptune is moving. Neptune is moving back into Pisces. We'll be at 0 degrees Aries still. So this air trine kite, we've been talking about this. In August, Mars made the kite. In September, Mercury made the kite, and then the sun. And now it's Venus's turn. The feminine is the one, the missing piece. We know this because we talk about all Yeshua's teachings and all this that were distorted and turned into harm. But that was only allowed to happen because the feminine teachings and the story and the miracles were cut out. I mean, I've kind of gotten pretty powerful, intuitive messages around the fact that this story, you know, these characters of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, you know, she was a crucial part, if not the bulk of the energy, because that's how it is. The female has more access to creation energy. That's what creates miracles. So the miracle healings, which brought people to Jesus, were actually performed by Mary and Jesus. She couldn't do it without him, and he couldn't do it without her. And if they were to know that she was the miracle worker, she would have been, you know, would have been over for her, right? At that time of the persecution of the feminine. So he had to take the credit, but then he also had to take the blame of this whole nightmare of a parasitic, satanic religion made in his name, you know? So there's lots to reconcile when we're thinking about, oh, we're going to get out of the Piscean age and go back to the dungeon. And it's like, no, this is way deeper than that. And that's why just getting rid of corruption in our world is not going to solve the problem. We have to face the dark and hidden lies. And so Mars and Scorpio seems to be about that. So the next thing we're going to feel is Mercury, excuse me. Mercury is in Libra, and so is coming into a square with Jupiter in Cancer, and then in opposition with Chiron. So the square with Jupiter will happen on the 2nd of October, and the opposition with Chiron will happen on the 4th of October. Very decisive energy here in moving into the next chapter of the timeline, which is that we cannot go anywhere until we clean up the mess and get more truth. No more money is going to be disseminated except for humanitarian purposes that support humanity. Okay, we're taking back all of this money from where it was stolen, the gold under the Vatican, the manipulative games played with financial tyranny on humanity. We're taking it all back. And so it feels like Mother holds the purse strings again. And that the only money that can be disseminated has to go through really, really purified, good people. Oh, wait, the ones that have been going not getting knocked every which way, every direction, going through hell numerous times, you know, saving souls left and right without any credit, appreciation, acknowledgement, or pay. And so we lead the way, apparently, right? So it's powerful that we have this coming off of the Mars square Pluto, and then in Mars is ready to go. Mars has such a forward motion energy, you know, and in Scorpio, it's a home sign for him, but it's watery. So it's moving water. Scorpio's fixed water, it's fixed hidden lies that we've got to bust through to bring back creation life force again. But then at the same time, we've got Mercury triggering this Jupiter square Chiron. So Jupiter and Chiron, Jupiter in Cancer is coming into square with Chiron. That will happen 3 times, and the first 2 times will happen this year, and the third and final time will happen in 2026, I believe in July. And so, but this is intense. So the second part of October, second part of December is when Jupiter will be in exact square to Chiron. So this is the definitive square. We're moving out of all these little squares with our personal planets. Those will still be happening, but this square takes center stage. This is everything. And it's kind of like the standoff where humanity and the advanced souls and the lovers of the mother say, hey, we have the power and your games are over. You know, good people win. We know this, and we're not waiting any longer for you to exhaust your resources. They're not your resources anymore. We take them back. You know, so any money that flows into the world has to go through humanitarian channels, has to go through it. It can only go to help and heal the damage of what's occurred by the stealing of our tax dollars. Okay, who is best to disseminate these funds into projects which would bring immediate healing and benefit to humanity? I think that you are perfectly prepared over lifetimes, spiritually and emotionally, even though it feels like you're falling apart. Maybe you're falling together as who you really are, whole and complete. This isn't a split of timelines. This is singularity, meaning that we, as sovereign souls, are putting ourselves back together, and Mother, we're putting her back together. We are the bride. And so the separation and the Christ consciousness concept is really just that's the soul of Earth. And the soul of Earth is returning. And so coming back to this whole separation thing of timelines, yes, the wound of separation, we have to open that up and pour in the love of the mother. But the separating timelines is a producer, a false information that's being used to produce an emotional response deep in the psyche of supernova souls, holding us back from our own evolution with the message and the program that we're leaving people behind. Maybe that's why we're facing these difficult karmic situations where the people around us don't want to do the work, but they don't want to let us go either. You know, they don't want to meet us where we're at, but they don't want us to go be free or evolve or move to the next place either. Seems like all supernova souls are dealing with these karmic contracts right now from wherever it's coming from. It could be work, home, family, relationship. But these contracts go back to Atlantian time, and they're gatekeeper contracts with the false authorities around gatekeeping the technologies. Okay, so it turns out we've just realizing we're the technologies, and so we're the ones that have been gatekept karmically by the beings around us. So of course this is going to bloom, and when that blooms, you do not have one friend, I don't think. So maybe that's why we have no friends. We don't have to worry about it. You know. Oh, this is a strange place that we're in. But anyway, so this is the energy that we're feeling. It's like coming out of the intense squares, and then Mercury is triggering us into the single focused square of Jupiter square Chiron exact from October 16th to the November 1st. So that's the first push at completely taking back the resources of Mother Earth for Mother Earth and her children, the conscious souls here in a body in alignment with her. You know, because you're going to say you're with the light, and if you're full of judgment and criticism and hatred and you want to hurt people, it doesn't hold up in court, right? We need real justice, real courts, and that's what's coming. It's not going to happen in the court of law. It's going to happen in our world, everyday life, because the darkness, the lies, the deceit is being revealed and exposed, and then can no longer exist once it's exposed. And that's where we're at. Exposure is the most painful place. It's when the skin is coming off, but you don't have any new skin yet. Exposure is exposure of the parasitic ego that's taken over all of humanity. And we each must be given the chance to fight for the goodness within us. You know? Because as long as you're walking in the good, but the people around you are fighting good and evil, you're going to be the evil one. And so our vibration of alignment and mother and blessings and support for life and expansion of consciousness or humanity, alignment, and get out of those battles and show up, just keep showing up with more love. We can have boundaries with peace. We don't have to get angry. We can get angry inside. We can call upon Kali Ma to come through our third eye and eat the demons. We will claim our peace. We will not be triggered. We will not be feeding the demonic entities anymore. And maybe that's how we take back our power, right? Stop feeding them. So I think that's the energy of Jupiter square Chiron, and Mercury is starting this engine, basically, right? So we're starting to feel that today, and we're going to feel this through the 6th of October. Mercury square Jupiter opposite Chiron, and square Jupiter is going to happen at 22 degrees, opposite Chiron at 25 degrees. And so 3 degrees in between, and it's linking up the square between Jupiter and Chiron, and saying you're going to feel this. We're going to feel it through January. The 18th of January is when we're going to feel this stretch of Jupiter square Chiron, and Mercury starts it this week. So we've got October, November, December, and January, 4 months to claim back our life, our freedom, our abundance, our love, our authenticity, our authentic love, our authentic money, our authentic wealth. Not counterfeit version. That's the flip the next 4 months. Jupiter in Cancer is direct, the only planet besides our personal planets, I think. Yeah, that's direct right now. Mars is ready to roll. And so Mars is not scared to get dirty in Scorpio and is ready to face what we need to face to move forward this evolution, right? So the only money can come that's a benefit to humanity. And so we're stuck here. And we cannot give the money that's a benefit to humanity until we know the truth about how it was stolen. And so we're stuck here, except that you can only delay the process, not stop it. And I know this is how life has felt, supernova souls. This is the autoimmune condition in the body that most supernova souls at some point have dealt with. It's actually nanotech and poisoning that we've had way before other people. But it's in the autoimmune picture, your body has to go around about to get it done. And isn't this how it's been? Technological interference and bots and harassments and noises. And it's like you just keep going and you go around about and you go around about. And so now we're going roundabout, like it's getting so tight that we're just getting knocked around all over the place, but it's coming to that singular place of peace and harmony, of ease and grace, of our world, our way, that we deserve as spiritual beings, advanced spiritual souls, to live in peace and safety in our world. And it will be. So that's what this is all about, as much as we're having to, this is our third chakra, our will force. The ascension process now, you have to engage your will. You know, if you're not engaging your will, then the entities are running your world. So you've got to engage your will. So it's not about pushing forward your personal agenda, an ego agenda. It's about alignment with Mother and an absolute determination to stay there and to stay in peace and to walk in your abundance and to be the overflowing cup. And that's where humanity, in their battle of good and evil within them, they have to have their third chakra engaged. They have to say, yes, I want spiritual ascension. I say yes. I'm going to do the work it takes, and I'm going to say yes. If they don't want spiritual ascension, see, this is the split, but it's not a split away. They just are not, they're going to be right here. We can't really see each other anymore. But we're going into oneness consciousness. They're in a holding pattern until they can fully immerse. But we're not leaving them behind. Only the demons, it's the end of their world. The apocalypse, the end of the world, it's the end of their world. The parasitic, satanic world, and a rebirth of our world, our organic earth. Because when you take something from someone, you have to give it back. We don't get out of this without getting back what was stolen from us. And is this where we're beating our head against the wall? Being like, well, I don't know. I don't want to take from anybody else. I don't want to be better than anyone else or shine or anything like this. But it's like, no, so much has been stolen from you. If you don't take it back, we can't get anywhere. Right? You have to step into your abundance and feel worthy of it and be ready for people to adore and love you and have reverence towards you, or we cannot go forward. So the constructs that are breaking down, we can just feel, and that's really what this Jupiter square Chiron. So Jupiter is direct, Mars is direct, and Jupiter is saying, we've got to expand into the nurturing. We've got to come back to the mother's love. This is the abundance that we need to receive to be in the Aquarian golden age. And then we've got Jupiter, and then Chiron is in Aries. So expanding the mother's love, we've got to go back to heal the wound of separation, come back to the abundance. We can't go to abundance without feeling the wound of separation. That's counterfeit money. That's why there's so many wealthy people that feel so empty and lost inside. Because they took willingly an injection designed to disconnect you from Source and God. And so we have all got to come to a place of recognizing the wrongs, the misunderstandings. I saw things wrong. I damaged myself. I damaged other people because of false beliefs and lies I was told. All of humanity must be humbled, and we know this. We've been there a long time. And so we dig deep for compassion and understanding as the programming, the cult programming, and the technological control short circuits and breaks down, And where do you fall? Mother Earth. And you are that love, support, and the one that they can come to. The one they hated is the only one they can come to. That sucks. That's not going to feel good. The only one that can help them is the one that they hated the most. But you'll still help them, won't you? Because it feels good, and you're good. And don't let anybody tell you different. There is no negative to your positive. That was just the story and the game of the Piscean age. So Jupiter expanding into the mother's love, Chiron, the wounds of where we gave our power and energy away, right? So it's like mother's love's returning. We can't have it if we're going to continue to give it away. And so we are at an absolute crossroads, an end of the line, humanity. And we get 2 hits in this one this year to figure it out. We got that second part of October, second part of December with those exact Jupiter square Chiron. But we move into this whole chapter now, starting because Mercury is triggering this. And so for the whole first week of October, Mercury square Jupiter. Mercury's in Libra. Mercury wants to understand. It wants to bring peace. It wants to bring collaboration and justice in Libra. And so in square to Jupiter, it's saying the only justice that we'll do is mom's justice. Mom's justice means a lot of people got to go to jail or get kicked off the planet that aren't people, right? We're not leaving people behind. We might leave soulless entities behind. We're not leaving souls behind. That's where we got to get this cleared up. You could say there's a timeline split from the world of destruction and darkness and AI control. But all the human souls are going with us. That's why we've taken so long. And don't let anybody tell you different. And that came up. This missing your blessings and not being able to receive and feeling guilty about leaving people behind, that all came up in that Equinox Soul Group session. So go back and get the replay of that one if that resonates. Such powerful work is happening in these events. And, you know, the more powerful psychically you are, the more you've probably blocked it. And this is the safe way to open up to the information, the wisdom that's within you, and the messages, the healing, and the clearing that are available for you right now, Supernova. So maybe there's something around Supernova souls being to open up and find and receive, you know, because it's been censored and blocked. My subscriber count continues to go down, and my view count continues to go down. And so it's censored and stuff, but it's like, may supernova souls open their hearts, open their consciousness, the pathway clear to be able to find the information that can help support them to stand up and take back all that's theirs. I take back all that's mine. When you take back all that's yours, then yes, you definitely, most definitely are an overflowing cup of the mother's love. So Mercury is starting a season, and it's interesting because we got Halloween, you got Scorpio season, and heading into this whole, that's the Michaelmas, coming back to Michaelmas. It goes till Thanksgiving, so it's like the dark season where the light goes away in the northern hemisphere, and we have to find our inner light within. But this particular Michaelmas, I mean, especially with an announcement from our president about this day, September 29th, a calling on the power of the true authority of Archangel Michael. Michael's the most authoritarian one, which means it's all still false authority, isn't it? We got to go out beyond the archangels. And the true authority is you, incarnate in a body. You have power. You are the most powerful being, and it's time we started to act like it in alignment. And that's why we've gone through such soul purification. So the first week of October starts this whole into the darkness. The Michael energy, the authority, is pointing to the sword of our spine, of our own authority and our own power within, to go up and protect ourselves against the demons. And it points to that higher authority, the mother's authority. Michael works also for mother. And there's no getting away from the law of the land. It's the only way we can go. So hold fast there. Come back to being the cup of mother's love. And everyone has to come back to this. All the institutions, the governments, and every system. Guess what? Because we just got the message that no more money will be dispensed except for humanitarian, healing the people. No more. Figure it out. If it's in alignment with helping reparations and healing for the people that have been damaged, money can flow. It cannot flow otherwise. Any part of some sort of government or organization, if it's actually helping the people, the money will flow. This is quantum computing. This is our new financial system. Those that are last will be first. What if we had, just imagine that we had a flip tomorrow, into a whole new system. And it's a quantum financial system, the AI working for mother. In that money moves based on consciousness. Yes, it's not that anybody has to lose. We all have a big pot of money that's associated with who we are, with our birth certificate and our social security card and who we are, that's been traded and stolen from, and we've been used and abused, our identities stolen. But that is money we will all have access to, except for you only really have access to it if you're in alignment with helping and supporting humanity heal. That is the truth that's seems to be coming through. And so I think that's the energy of this Mercury square Jupiter and Chiron. Mercury in Libra saying, hey, we got to work together so we can overcome the wound of separation and take back the power and abundance that's ours. You know, I mean, can you give the money back to the people if they haven't come back to mother? Because they'll probably feel guilty, shameful, and use it on bad things. It's a tricky situation, but if you have no idea, you've been working on this, you know, and that's the thing. Supernova souls, we are multidimensional beings, and it's so, and maybe if we start seeing it like that, like, yes, this is the consciousness we have access to, but the power of who we are exists in a latent stasis, waiting to be awakened, that nobody can take from us and nothing can stop. And so the powerless feeling we feel in our life, being controlled and manipulated every turn, is an absolute and complete lie. And so maybe that's these next 4 months too. Wake up, sleeping giant. Wake up, master builder. What? And keep that giant held down with like toothpicks and dental floss? I don't think so. You're more powerful than any of it. And you don't need to ask anybody's permission. So I guess the law of the land is that personal, individual autonomy. You know, where we have permission and sovereignty in our field to exist in peace. So it's the end of all wars. There's no other way. So then on the 4th and 5th, next weekend, we'll have that Jupiter or Mercury squaring, or Mercury in Libra, you know, relationships, trying to get along through these narcissists, like one person feeding on the other person, and all that stuff is all coming up with Mercury in Libra. And then Venus will be coming into Venus is in Virgo and will be coming into a conjunction with the South Node and in opposition to the North Node in Pisces. This is huge. This is a huge marker. So this is this weekend, the 4th and 5th, and it's like Venus making it to the garden. And the South Node is the karma of cleaning up the earth. That we can't just move forward into our age of abundance if we're not going to learn how to connect and love and take care of the earth. How can we get the money if we don't care for her, the source of it all? It's like that fake AI mother, the motherfucker, stole all the resources of our organic original mother, and then they've been feeding it back to us with little crumbs and tacks, and you know, just until we figure it out, laughing in our faces. These events in the world right now is a slap in the face left and right. They're making fun of us, you know, and so I don't know. No matter where you are as a human right now, it's hard to move forward in your evolution without shame at this point. And so we heal it and we move through it. And so Venus and Virgo South Node opposite North Node is this marker, because that means that Venus is triggering the water trine kite, because we have Jupiter at 22 degrees. We've got Black Moon Lilith at 20 degrees. We've got the North Node of the Moon at 18. So they're still close in trine. Jupiter in Cancer, Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, and the North Node in Pisces. So Neptune coming in and conjuncting the South Node is reactivating the water trine kite that we felt with Mercury and the Sun. And then that very, very powerful time where in between, so between on the 5th is when the Mercury goes over the South Node, and then on the 9th and 10th we'll start feeling Mercury opposing Saturn. That's coming into the bottom of the air trine kite. So going from the top of the water trine kite to the bottom of the air trine kite, and that crucial window of Venus's journey is like the 6th to the 10th, a window of going from stuck in the every which way of triggering into trauma programs and lifting up, turning and moving in a new direction. Because Venus is the last kite we're going to feel of this air trine kite. And so, third time's the charm. And here we go. It's time to go home. We might not land for a while, though. We might not land until, I don't know, next July or something, but we're definitely taking off somewhere. And it's much better perspective from there. It's light and free. It's supported and buoyed and guided. So that's the gift of the abundance of who you are that you can take right now. Mom says the shift for you is right now, whenever you want it. You don't have to wait for the world to shift. You can be buoyed and held, carried, and moved with your surrender and your absolute determined alignment. So much is possible for us supernova souls in this next chapter, and together we can lift up into this new reality. So thank you so much for being here. So Venus will be in the air trine kite then, opposing Saturn on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of October, and then moving into Libra on the 14th and coming into an opposition with Neptune at 0 degrees. Neptune just about to move back into Pisces. Whoo, that's going to feel intense, I think. In a good way, it's about empowerment, but it's about facing the darkness too, and the lies. Neptune and Pisces, delusions and lies that have manipulated us need to be cleared up. So that's on the 23rd of October. And so we've got Uranus moving back into Taurus, Neptune moving back into Pisces. And so it's really powerful that that's all happening right with that Jupiter square Chiron, the crux of the issue. Mother's love versus being fed upon parasitically. Do we have a choice? I mean, we're acting as if we have a choice. Like, well, we need to choose. You need to begin alignment. You need to. It's like, no, we don't have a choice at this point. It's like, stop trying to heal people or wake people up at this point. I don't know. It's just kind of, we gotta lift up and get the support we need to make the shifts so that we can support the collective. Right? We've got to receive it first. First, the compassion here. Then we'll have it as that overflowing cup. And so really powerful times coming up, this crux of the issue, and we're going to feel that with the Aries full moon. The Aries full moon is happening at 14 degrees Aries, and we'll be feeling that Mercury opposite Chiron, and we'll be feeling Venus conjunct the South Node. This is destiny of cleaning up the earth. Feminine must be healed so we can heal the earth. And so it's powerful to have that full moon right then. And Venus will then be moving into a sextile with Black Moon Lilith. Also, we'll be feeling. And so it's like the empowerment of the feminine so that we can heal and clean the earth. And that's how we face the darkness. With Venus in sextile to Black Moon Lilith, also we'll be feeling that. So incredibly powerful times. And the Aries full moon happens on the 6th, the 7th. The activation will be Monday, October 6th at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and I hope you can join us for that. So much intense and powerful work happened with the soul group sessions. There was one for the equinox, and there was one for the lunar eclipse. Also, the full and new moon activations happen every lunation. Those activations are guided meditations designed to get you, supernova soul, what you need to support you in this particular astrology at this particular time. We're in a time now where we're called again to go into our cave, into our kiva, into our roundhouse, into our longhouse, into our sweat lodge, into our temple, and really commit to a spiritual practice of meditation and chakra work. My courses are designed to support you in this. The Owning Your Energetic Field, a goddess activation. Owning your energetic field is about containment, understanding, knowing what you hold, and then the goddess activation is amping up your access to creation energy now that it's contained. But all of those courses and the activations are going to work on helping you get to a place where you can meditate and you can open up to the intuitive information that's available for you. That's a cool thing about these events. I get to channel the information, but you bring it. Us supernova souls, we're so connected We have gone through such similar experiences over this evolution, and yet we're so individual. And that's the beautiful, beautiful thing. Such an enjoyable group of people. And I can't wait to get together and really have that peace and space and time and support to heal with each other. That seems to be what we'll have to do first at this point, because the damage has been so extreme. Our most powerful healers that can save and help humanity must first get healed. And so we step on that path now, to allow ourselves to get out of the addiction of the trauma stories and the triggering, and rise up into something new and different, change directions and get going in a new way. That's the picture of this air trine kite. So that's what these next couple of weeks are about. It's almost like, yeah, you don't have to wait for the world to shift. You can do it right now. But and also right now is an incredibly powerful moment to set a new trajectory. So that's going to be really powerful as we come into the Libra new moon that will be happening later in October. And that will be kind of like where we can really shift our kite to the absolute right direction we want to go, and maybe get some clarity on what it is we're even doing. Because remember, Supernova Soul, you came here to work with your deepest, most true treasures and gifts and full potential, and those are most often the most hidden. And so we're having this whole discovery process, and it's kind of a frantic feeling like I got to figure it out because the ground is moving underneath me. And Mom says it's okay because we're going to fly. Surrender and fly. Surrender to flight. That's a good, maybe we'll theme. So thank you so much, because we are moving into this new renaissance. Just like the money can only flow to help humanity, and the things that can be built are only going to be beautiful things that represent the beauty of nature and honoring our love for Mother Earth at every turn. So thanks for being on her team, her army. It means so much to me to have you to talk to listen to help channel the messages that you have for us. Supernova Souls is so powerful when we come together. So thank you so much for your support. Go get the replays of the events. Check out those really powerful classes. Help you own your autonomy. It's everything right now. Over this 4 months, we'll be doing some Q&As with that Owning Your Energetic Field course, because that's just crucial information for Supernova Souls right now. There's also a link if you want to just give a donation for this ad-free space, for this continual offering of the gift economy. Your support would be grateful, greatly helpful to me and the Supernova movement at this time. So also there's a limited number of individual sessions available, and that information about that is in the information box below as well. And thank you so much for being a part of the Supernova Soul Tribe. For $20 a month, it gets you into every activation, $20 each, so 50% off. And then you get, even if you don't show up and listen to it, you sign up, you get the work that we've done. And that when you come up and you show up, you overcome your fears and the blocks and the technology, whatever happens, get you to sit down and do that activation, you are offering a tremendous gift to your soul group. And let's do it, right? Let's do it. Let's do it together. Let's pick ourselves up by our bootstraps. I know you're tired. I know you're exhausted, but your team needs you. Only you can play the role you came here to play. And we are coming together is the pieces of this puzzle, this beautiful technicolor bird that we saw flying across the land, Supernova Souls Awakening. So really powerful times, and just don't miss it. Don't let yourself get distracted and fed upon. Be present with the spiritual energies. And I'll see you there on the astral plane on the replays at the next update, the Aries full moon activation next Monday. Until then, I can't wait. I look forward to seeing you then. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.